You know what was next, don't you?
I think I do, but I didn't write down the order of events.
The big women's tag team championship contest with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. And you told me to watch this thing. You said, "Oh, I'll watch it," but first, here's what you told me.
Yeah, that's not exactly what I said.
Well, you thought there was going to be a women's elimination chamber match, and I said, "You got to be kidding me." He said, "No, I think they were at a women's elimination," which would have just been insane. And I was prepared to have to watch that. So when they didn't, I was relieved, and I tried to watch this, and I forgot to make any notes. Because I was just sitting there. I did a couple of things. Nia Jax is the Plowboy Frazier of women's wrestling.
That is funny. If Plowboy Frazier had a very famous cousin who got him a job.
Well, if Lawler had been his cousin, Lawler got him 18 jobs, so they just weren't related. But I mean, yes, Bianca Belair is very athletic, and Sasha Banks is very athletic, and Shayna Baszler is a shooter, and Nia Jax is Plowboy, and they did wrestling moves, and I didn't see anything besides the usual stuff with Nia Jax, I didn't see anything to really hoot and holler about as far as how bad it was, because I wasn't paying real close attention, but I also didn't particularly see anything that I just was flipped my shit about. So somehow Reggie brought some champagne out, but it backfired, and his team lost, and then he got yelled at. What'd you think?
I mean, I hated the promo before the match. They had Bianca and Sasha talking backstage. Remember, Bianca won the Royal Rumble. She gets to pick which champion she faces at WrestleMania, so Sasha's one of the candidates. But they do this thing, it's not unique to this promo, where the interviewer says, "I'd like to welcome Bianca Belair." And then, from what I guess is a foot off camera, Bianca Belair walks into the screen. They do a close-up of her face, not looking at the interviewer, not looking into the camera, just looking off to nowhere. And then they go back to the interviewer and she introduces, "Here's Sasha Banks." She does the same thing. Walks on from a foot away, doesn't look at Bianca, doesn't look at the commentator, the announcer, doesn't look into the camera, just looks to the rafters that aren't there because they're in the back and there are no fans to begin with. And then once they establish that no one knows how to behave normal, then they do the promo. You know, when I watch a Nia Jax match, I'm just watching for the botches at this point. I'm just watching, who will she hurt? How will she mess up? She doesn't belong here. She's not a quality female wrestler. Other than that, it was okay. It was okay.
And it's also the fact that she seems to have no sense of timing with what's going on around her. It's almost like the thing I joked about Mantar. He would charge and the guy'd move and he'd hit the buckle and he'd back up about a foot or two and he'd go for 10 seconds and then turn around. Where else is the guy going to be but behind you? You're looking at the only other part of the ring. It just... Here's another thing I wondered about before we go on to this final Elimination Chamber match. The guys in the pods are mic'd. Why? They know that. Why can nobody believably trash talk? It all sounds like shit that people are saying on purpose. Just a thought.
Well, before we get to the final match, did you not see Bad Bunny backstage?
I zipped through Bad Bunny. I was running late on time.
He made The Miz look like a fool, but thankfully The Miz is just a mid-card guy, not someone getting a big push. So it was acceptable. Bad Bunny, of course, the night before was on SNL with the 24/7 championship, which means nothing and no one cared. But he's a big star.
And you're mad at me because I didn't watch this pre-tape, aren't you now?
No, I'm completely fine that you didn't watch one of their awful backstage segments.
And he made Miz an idiot.
Well, he didn't make him an idiot. God did that. But
he further highlighted.
Yes, that's right.
Miz is a buffoon, fucking foon, as Jim Ross would say. Very good.
That's right.